بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وتقا وهدى يا أرحم الراحمين. فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وإن خير الهدي هدي نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وإن شر الأمور محدثاتها وإن كل محدثة بدعة وإن كل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد. Okay, so last time we talked about Musa alayhi salam, right? We talked about the genealogy of Musa alayhi salam. We talked about how Musa alayhi salam became a prophet, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. All right. So where we left off was when Musa alayhi salam left Egypt and he crossed the sea, which we said that most likely it is the Sea of Qanat al-Suez, right? The Sea of Suez, the Gulf of Suez, which is in Sinai. If you can see in the map where the cursor is. So this is Egypt, right here. Okay, so this is Egypt, right over here, and then this little piece of land is called Sinai. All right. So this gulf here is called the Suez Gulf, Khalij al-Suez. And Musa alayhi salam, he crossed from there and into Sinai, fleeing or escaping from Fir'aun and his army and Haman. So the day that this happened is called the day of Ashura. We know it as the day of Ashura in Islam, right? And to the Jews, in the Jewish religion, this is the 10th month of the first month of the Jewish calendar, which is the month of Tishrin. And they call it Yom Kippur, I believe, the Yom Kippur, Yom al-Ghufran in Arabic. So after that, what happened? What occurred? The people of Musa alayhi salam, the Israelites, they were able to go to Sinai and they witnessed the death of Fir'aun. And the death of Fir'aun was really shocking to them. This man who has been chasing them, who wants to kill them, now he is dead. They can literally see him. They can literally witness, they're literally witnessing his death at their own eyes. And as we said, Fir'aun, he said, Amantu bi Rabbi Musa. At the moment he died, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Al-ana wa qad asayt, and how Jibreel alayhi salam, he took from the land, from the sea, from the bottom of the sea, and he started putting the dirt in his mouth. So so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have mercy on him. So even till that point, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still had mercy. And he could have had mercy on Fir'aun, and he could have forgave Fir'aun. Okay, so here comes that moment. So Jibreel, when he came, we said that he came with a horse, right? And nobody can see Jibreel but Musa and Harun because they're prophets. But there was one guy who was able, apparently, to see either Jibreel or either his horse, and his name is Samiri. Correct? This mysterious figure, his name is Samiri. And he was able to take from Hafir al-Hisan, right, the leg of the horse, he was able to take from him and store it. So we're going to see who that person is in depth, but let's just go to Egypt a little bit. So every one of their males, of their elderly males, died in Egypt. So they were not left with somebody to have, protection to them. And the princesses, they married people from the general people, not from, the prince or the children of the king. So the princesses ruled over Egypt. Now Egypt is ruled by queens. All right? And when the people of Israel, Banu Israel, when they went out of Egypt, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them from the wealth of Fir'aun. So they had treasures, kunuz Fir'aun with them, and huliyih, the thing they used to decorate themselves. All right? And also with them, they took the tomb of Yusuf. Yusuf was buried in Egypt, so they took his tomb and they took it with them. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at this point, He blessed the people of Israel. He gave them those blessings. He was able to, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, take them out of this agony. And at this point, Musa alayhi salam tells his people the order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the Quran, in Surah Al-Ma'idah, Musa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, على لسان موسى, وإذ قال موسى لقومه يا قوم اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ جعل فيكم أنبياء وجعلكم ملوكا وآتاكم ما لم يؤت أحدا من العالمين يا قوم ادخلوا الأرض المقدسة التي كتب الله لكم ولا ترتدوا على أدباركم فتنقلبوا خاسرين. So the order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala came to the people of Israel. Musa alayhi salam, he turns to his people and he says, so, okay guys, now, alhamdulillah, we are saved from Fir'aun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed you with this. He gave you this wealth and all of that. All right, so there are people in Palestine, they're living in Palestine and Bilad al-Sham. They're called Al-Kan'aniyin, the Canaanites. I think we've talked about them a lot of times in previous lectures. So he said, okay, those people, they're corrupting in the land, okay? And they took over Al-Quds, right? Jerusalem, Al-Quds. So we need to take that back from them. We need to liberate Al-Quds and make it become Muslim again, right? From these people who are corrupting in the land. They took over our holy sites. So the people of Israel, what would they say to him? What would they say to Musa? They say, قالوا يا موسى إن فيها قوما جبارين وإنا لن ندخلها حتى يخرجوا منها فإن يخرجوا منها فإنا داخلون. So the people of Israel, instead of saying, okay, let's go, let's fight, let's liberate what's ours, what has been taken from us. Because by the way, the Egyptian kingdom during Ramses, who's the Fir'aun Misr, he took over Syria and Palestine. So the struggle is not also the Can'aniyin, but the thing is the Can'aniyin supports Egypt now. And since Ramses died, they have their liberation from Egypt. So they took over it. So now Banu Israel needs to take back the land from them. So instead of them saying, okay, let's go, let's fight, let's take what ours, and all of that, they said, well, the people there, they're a little bit, they're a little bit huge. They're giants. They're very strong. Because we said Al-Kan'aniyin, they are Amaliq, they are giants. They're we're talking more than 4 feet tall, something like that. And the Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith that Adam, he was six arms tall. Sit adra, right? So we're talking about a 12-story building. And he said that humanity since Adam is decreasing in height. So we're going to keep decreasing until the day of judgment. We're going to keep getting shorter and shorter. So they refused to go and fight with Musa. Basically, they were cowards. They chickened out. That's the right term, basically. All right? So Musa said, well, all of this blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you, and you're chickening out, you don't want to go and fight and take what's yours. So there were 2 people, Yusha ibn Nun, another guy, his name is Caleb. Okay, and those 2 people, they said, don't worry, if you go fight them, you're going to win because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you. But they still cowarded. They said, okay, you know what? You want to fight those guys, Musa? You, Harun, and those 2 other guys, why don't you just go fight them? We're just going to stay here and wait for you and cheer for you. So such cowardness. They just want to stay in Sinai. They're just going to cheer for him and, clap for Musa and say, yeah, go, you got this. You're going to win. And just let them fight, and most likely they're going to die, right? I mean, of course, they're the Prophet of Allah. Allah is with them, but also there's reason. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, خُذُوا بِالْأَسْبَابِ. There's reasons, right? You have to have reasons. You have to have an army. You have to have everything organized. So they refused. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them many chances. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them their first punishment. The first punishment was they're going to get lost in Sinai. Tih Tahu fi Sahra, and it's called now Tih Bani Israel. The place where the people of Israel got lost. So now they're lost in the desert of Sinai, and they got lost for 40 years. 40 years they got lost, not knowing where to go, not knowing their purpose. They don't know what to do. All right? If they had said, okay, they could have won. The Prophet ﷺ, when he told his people, let's go fight during Badr, the Battle of Badr, Ghazwat Badr, all of them said, okay, let's go. And the Prophet ﷺ said, I'm happy that you agreed with this. I'm happy that you want to fight with me, because otherwise, if you said no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was going to descend a punishment like that of Bani Israel when they refused to go and fight with Musa. So the people of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, they had similar tests to the people of Musa, to Bani Israel, and Qawm Muhammad, Ummat Muhammad, the nation of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, they succeeded, they passed those tests, unlike the people of Musa. And we're going to see that. So they refused, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished them, and then after that, what happened is that they started gathering and going around in Sinai, not knowing what to do, and they went around Jabal al-Tur, Mount Tur. Remember Mount Tur from last time? It's where Musa alayhi salam got the message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Musa started going and talking to Allah and gaining orders from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and doing prayers for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he did prayers for the people of Israel not to starve, because it's absolutely desert. It's absolutely a desert, right? They became literally nomads. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still blessed them, even though they refused the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala contained them. He still blessed them, and He descended upon them what is known as al-man was-salwa. Very healthy food. It descended from heaven. And they were like sleeping, they would wake up, they would find this descending from heaven upon them. All right? And they would eat it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also ordered Musa alayhi salam, because his people became very thirsty in the desert. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Musa, hit the rock with your staff and water is going to come from. So Musa hit the rock with the staff, and the rock, it brought 12 springs. Each spring is for a tribe of Bani Israel, because the tribes of Bani Israel, they were 12. So each spring was for a tribe of Bani Israel. Right? So basically it became oasis. Today, if you go to Sinai, you might find some oasis. I'm pronouncing that correctly. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Yes? Oasis or oasis? Oasis, yes. Okay, so you might find some oasis. Some of these oases actually were by Musa alayhi salam when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered him to hit the rock with his staff. Till this day, they exist. So, did somebody say something? Somebody ask something? Oh, okay. So, after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He told Musa alayhi salam to tell his people the 10 words, the 10 orders, in which it is mentioned in the Quran, قُلْ تَعَالَوْا أَتْلُوا مَا حَرَّمَ رَبُّكُمْ عَلَيْكُمْ أَلَّا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا. Do not worship anything with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Treat your parents right. All right. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَوْلَادَكُمْ مِنْ إِمْلَاقٍ نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُكُمْ وَإِيَّاهُمْ. Don't kill your children. All right. Don't kill generally. All right. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الْفَوَاحِشَ مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَبَطَنَ. Do not commit sins such as adultery and stuff. Whatever is revealed, whatever is not obvious for you, do not even touch it. Do not come near it. All right. مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَبَطَنَ وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ. Do not kill generally, as I said. إلا بالحق ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تعقلون ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن. Do not come near the money of the orphan. Do not take or steal the money of the orphan. إلا بالتي هي أحسن حتى يبلغ أشده وأوفوا الكيل والميزان. If you are merchants, right? Do not cheat with selling and stuff. Right? لا تكلم نفسا إلا وسعها وإذا قلتم فاعدلوا. If you have gave a promise. If you have said something, if you have gave a promise, fulfill the promise. If you have said something, do not lie about this thing. Always say something that is justful. وَلَوْ كَانَ ذَا قُرْبَى وَبِعَهْدِ اللَّهِ أَوْفُوا. Okay, always follow on the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ذَلِكُمْ وَصَّاكُمْ بِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. Alright? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered Musa to tell those people that. Okay, and Musa told them this. Are they going to follow? So I want you to keep in mind, those people are Muslims now. They're followers of Musa. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed them by saving them from Fir'aun. And unfortunately, growing up, we all had the story of Musa stop at this point in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved them from Fir'aun. But we never got what's after that. The story of Musa is very expandable. It's not just what happened in Egypt and that's it, and Fir'aun died and that's it. No, there's a lot of things happened. His people betrayed him. The people of Musa betrayed him, Banu Israel. How so? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descended, as I said, men and Sal and all of that. And He gave them water. Now they come to Musa, and they go to Musa and they say, hey man, listen, we kind of got bored from the food we're eating, all right? So why don't you just, you prayed for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us food. Why don't you just pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say, just have plants, coming out from the ground and trees and all of that, and that's it. It's good. We can live here. We can live in Sinai. We can live in Sinai and we can have rivers and springs and, just pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? This is very ironic, by the way, considering modern time. But anyways, so they asked Musa to pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that. So can you imagine how ridiculous this is? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving them the best of food, and they said, just give us, this trashy food from earth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving them food from heaven. And they said, just give us this trashy food. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He punished them again. He took from them the food they were given. All right? So after this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He asked Musa alayhi salam to leave his people and meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, talk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on top of Mount Tur. And He ordered the people of Musa, Banu Israel, not to come near the mountain. Okay? And Musa said, okay, I will fulfill Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's order. And he told Harun, his brother, he told him, you're the leader of Banu Israel now, okay, until I come back. All right. So, there, they found a bunch of people, a group of people, a nation basically. And the people of the Levant, they were worshipping idols. They had their own religion, and they were worshipping idols such as Baal, if we heard about Baal before. And those idols, specifically Baal, the symbol for them is a cow or a calf or a bull or a sheep. So they worshipping, basically what they would do is they thought that there is a being that is godly, but in fact they were worshipping the shaitan, because if we remember when I talked about the story of Ibrahim, right? We said how An-Namrud learned black magic by Iblis himself, and he brainwashed people to worship Iblis, and they constructed idols to worship Iblis as symbols for the jinn and the demons, right? The devil and the demons and all that. So those people were worshipping Baal and all of these idols. They were in fact worshipping different kinds of jinn, different kinds of demons. So they saw that, the people of Musa alayhi salam, and before Musa left, they told him, hey, why don't you make idols for us just like them? Because they asked the people, they were like, what are you doing? They said, we're worshipping these idols because we think these idols give us food and drink. Very stupid, right? I know, but they did believe in that. So So the people of Musa said, hey, we need something like this. So Musa tells them how stupid these people are because they're doing this. And they said, okay, all right, let's have a logical talk, okay? Let's have a common sense talk. These are idols, right? They said, yes, these are idols. And Musa says, okay, so try to talk to this idol. And they're like, okay, Musa, like, what's up? Like, you know, these idols don't talk back. And he said, exactly. This is why we don't worship them, right? Because they don't talk back. They're idols. They're inanimate objects. They're not gonna hurt you. They're not gonna benefit you. And he told them, إِنَّكُمْ قَوْمٌ تَجْهَلُونَ. You are a bunch of ignorant people. How would you even think about that? You should not even think about that. I mean, we fought the people of Egypt because they were worshiping the same thing. Now you want to worship the same thing, especially after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed you. So Musa said, just dismiss this and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he went to the mountain. Now there at the mountain, he talked with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because he's Kalimullah. He is one of the prophets who spoke with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The voice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he heard it. So Musa got a little bit, he wanted to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he said, oh Allah, let me look at your face. Let me look at you. Let me see you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I'm not going to let you see me, but if you look at the mountain, which is stronger than you as a human being, because mountains, they're stronger than human beings, right? The structure, they're holding Earth's gravity. So he said, look at the mountain, okay? And you'll understand why it is risky for you to see me. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he revealed himself to the mountain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the way, I believe it was said in a hadith, around, I think, 72 barriers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put between him and the earthly life, hayat al-dunya. Because if he just takes one barrier, the whole world will be burnt from the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, min nurillah, from his light. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he revealed all of the barriers for the mountain. Once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed himself to the mountain just became nothing. It ceased to exist. And Musa was witnessing all of that. So imagine you're standing in front of a mountain. Just imagine that. I've stood in front of mountains before, and really it's such a scary view because mountains are huge and you see this huge thing, right? And he was standing and there was like a huge mountain in front of him. And he was standing and staring at the mountain, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed himself to that mountain, and now this huge thing ceased to exist. Musa now can see the field. فَجَعَلَهُ دَكَّ. The Prophet ﷺ, when he was talking to his companions, when he's telling the story, he pointed this finger and this finger, and he said the mountain was like this, and then once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed himself to the mountain, it became like that. And Musa, when he saw this, he fell into a coma. He fell into a coma. He lost his consciousness. And then when he woke up again, he said, Subhanaka Rabbi, like, this is something I've never seen before. Like, I don't even want to, he's speechless. He can't talk about it. The Prophet ﷺ says that he's the first human to awake from the second nafkh as-sur, from the second call after on the Day of Judgment, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lets all the creatures die, and then the second nafkha, the second call, it is when all the creatures awake again. So the Prophet ﷺ is going to be the first human, but the Prophet said that when I wake up, I will see Musa and he is holding the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm not sure if the first time when he saw the Tur, did he die? This was the first call for him individually because of how shocking this incident was to him. I'm not sure. The Prophet ﷺ says, I'm not sure about that. So it was such a big incident for Musa alayhi salam. So Musa alayhi salam at the mountain, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him al-alwah, the stones. the Torah, the book of the Jews. So now the people of Israel, they have an identity. They are Jews. But they were not called Jews. They were called Muslims. Inna ad-dina 'inda Allahi al-Islam. Then the term Jewish came way after Musa alayhi salam. We're going to talk about it, inshallah. Probably when we talk about the story of Sulaiman. But they were called Muslims, not Jews. So Musa alayhi salam had the Torah, and the Torah was written by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, do you see how the Quran is the word of Allah, the speech of Allah? The Torah is the handwriting of Allah. It's written by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Musa, go and tell your people to follow the structures of these stones. So Musa had a bunch of questions for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as reported by Qatada, Musa said, Ya Rabb, أجد في الألواح أمة خير أمة أخرجت للناس يأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر رب اجعلهم أمتي. Oh Allah, I find in the stones there are people who are the best people among all humankind. They order for good and they refuse to do something that is bad and ask people not to do something that is bad. Oh Allah, please make them my nation, the people of Musa, Banu Israel. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no, those are the people of Muhammad. This is the nation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it's a very long hadith, but the core of it that Musa kept asking, who is those best people? Who are those people who would fight the Antichrist? Who are those people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed them? And every time Musa says, please make them my nation, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, this is the nation of Muhammad. So at the end, Musa tells Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, please make me from the nation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Musa alayhi salam asks Allah to be a follower of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you see the level of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I think we had a question there. Did you?
When this happened?
When Musa alayhi salam was on Mount Tur, Jabal al-Tur, when he was talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So after that, Musa alayhi salam in the mountain, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, Musa, descend from the mountain because your people left worshipping me. So Musa was like, what? I leave them for 40 nights and this is what they did? So Musa alayhi salam stayed in the mountain, Jabal al-Tur, for 40 nights, and he was fasting, by the way. So it is said that he fasted 30 days, but then on the 30th day, he broke his fast because he wanted to clean his breath. So he ate from a plant. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered him to stay 10 more days. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَأَتْمَمْنَاهَا بِعَشْرٍ, right? فَتَمَّ مِيقَاتُ رَبِّهِ. So he stayed 40 nights in Mountain Tur, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala questions, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaching him about the Torah and all of that. So Musa descends. Okay, what happened? Let's go back to the scenario in which what was happening when Musa alayhi salam was at the mountain. So remember the guy I said his name is Samiri, and the guy, he witnessed Jibreel and the horse of Jibreel. So this guy, he witnessed the horse of Jibreel, and he would take, as I said, he would take from the leg of the horse and store it. And we said that they took from the treasures of Fir'aun. So Samiri said, hey, you guys, listen. So remember when you asked Musa to make a god just like those people's gods? Just like that statue? And the people say yes, they're like, yes, yeah. So Samiri says, okay, I got you guys. We'll do that. So he said, grab all of your treasures and fuse them all together. Put them all together inside of a hole. So they dug a hole, they put all of the treasures together, and then he grabbed what he gained from Jibreel. So just a notification, Jibreel did not give him that, he stole it. So he grabbed that, and then he threw it. and they constructed this calf-looking idol, and this calf became jasad lahu khiwar. So basically, the calf did not become alive, but it would still do sounds. It would still do sounds. So the people of Israel were like, oh wow, oh my God, this is a God. It's making sounds, see? So they said, okay, so basically Musa, this is what they said. They said, Musa forgot his God. Where did Musa go? To meet God over there. His God is right in front of us. He's right here. Look, it's that calf. This calf is our God. Now, this is what they're saying. So Harun told them, this is wrong. Follow the right path. This is not your God. This is just a statue. It does not benefit you. Does not hurt you. You should not follow it. And they did not listen to him, and they came this close to killing him until Musa arrived. So just letting you know, Musa was really feared by his people. He was really a strong leader. He was a fair leader. He was a nice leader, but he's hazan. He's strict. So his people feared him. And they knew that whatever he prayed, it would come true. So if he prayed on them, against them, like let's say he said, oh Allah, please kill them all. They know that they're going to die. So they feared him. So once they saw him, they're like, oh my God, guys, he's here. Like, and they know it's wrong, right? The problem is, they know it's wrong. And they're doing it. This is the problem. This is the main problem. So they were worshiping the calf, and Musa came over, all right? And Musa said, okay, what are you guys doing? And they're like, hey, this is our God. So before he does anything, he stares at Harun, and Harun is like, why are you staring at me like that? And he grabs Harun from his beard and his hair. He grabs him. He's literally like pulling him. And he says, didn't I tell you to take over them and not let them do anything stupid? Because you know they've been doing something stupid for the past couple of years. So Harun is like, please don't do this to me. Don't hurt me. I tried. They almost came and killed me. And he said, why don't you come and tell me? Why didn't you come to the mountain and tell me? You know that you had permission and access to that. And he said, look at the honesty. A man, he was given something, that he was ordered something. He fulfills this to the maximum effort. So Harun said, you know, you ordered me to be the leader of them. You ordered me to take after them, right? To take care of them. So I felt like if I left them and came to you, you'd have been mad. How could you leave them? So Musa, he let go of Harun, and he was so angry. By the way, Musa, he was really angry to the point where he threw the stones that was given to him by Allah. He threw it, and some say that it broke because of his throw. And then he went to his people, and he said, "What are you guys doing?" And they're like, "We are just worshiping the idol." And he said, "Who did this? Didn't I just literally tell you before I go that you should not worship the idol?" So they said, the Samiri is the guy who misguided us. So he turns to the Samiri and he says, "Why did you do this?" He said, "I saw what they did not see." See, the words, the way he's talking is a little bit strange. He said, "I saw what they did not see." وَكَذَلِكَ سَوَلَتْنِي نَفْسِي. And this is what myself told me I should do. I thought about it and I said, I should probably do this. All right? So Musa said, okay, you know what? Look at the God. You think it is a God? And he ordered his people. He said, burn it down. So they burned it down. And he said, this is your God. Your God is burning down. Is that logical to you? If that was God and we were trying to burn it down, we would have probably punished. We got punished. So it got burnt. And then he told Samiri, فَاذْهَبْ فَإِنَّكَ أَن تَقُولَ لَا مِسَاسٍ. لَا مِسَاسٍ. And the people got a little bit confused with what's the meaning or the explanation of this. Some say, like Ibn Kathir, he said, the meaning of this is that Samiri, he would not be touched by anybody. And he would not be able to touch anybody. Some said he would not be able to eat or drink, etc. But there's just one interesting explanation. Okay, so I've been talking for the whole past week that there's a special person we're going to talk about today, right? Here comes the moment. The third explanation says that Samiri is actually al-Masih al-Dajjal, the Antichrist. That's the third explanation. Okay, who is this guy? Who is al-Masih al-Dajjal? I'm pretty sure most of us know that, right? But for those who does not know, in the end of times, there's going to become a person who is going to misguide all people, and he's going to claim he's God. And this person has been, all the prophets warned all of their nations about it, and the Prophet ﷺ warned us a lot about him. It is said that there is no fitna in history that is greatest than the fitna of Dajjal. And that's true. Because it's a continuous fitna, really. You'll see why. So, where did this guy come from? Where is he now? Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he stillborn? What's up with this character? So, the Prophet ﷺ, he has warned his people, the Sahaba, about this guy. He said, be careful from the Dajjal. إِنَّهُ أَعْوَرُ وَإِنَّ رَبَّكُمْ لَيْسَ بِأَعْوَرُ. Okay, A'war, I'm not sure about the specific English translation, but basically, he literally does not have an eye. He only has one eye. And this is an actual disease, by the way. It's not something fictional. There are people like that, and born like that. So this man, he's A'war. He only has one eye. All right? And he's short, and he has very curly hair. And the Prophet ﷺ kept talking about how he would like his characteristic. And he would say, I am your God. First, he would say, I'm the Prophet. Then he would say, I'm the God. The Prophet said, you know, I'm the last messenger. And you know that there's only one God, and your God is not ours. So one time, somebody would come to the Prophet ﷺ, and he's like shaking. He would come to the masjid shaking. He's like, where's the messenger of Allah? Where's the Prophet? I have to talk to the Prophet. I have to speak to the Prophet. So they point him to the Prophet, and he says, such and such and such and such. So the Prophet, he goes out to the Sahaba and he says, this man, his name is Tamim ad-Dari. This is a hadith sahih, by the way. It's in Bukhari. Tamim ad-Dari. I think Bukhari or Muslim or both. But it's a hadith sahih, just for the accuracy of it. So they say, what's up with this guy? He was shaking. He said, okay. So Tamim ad-Dari and his colleagues, they were just going on a sailing mission in order for them to, merchandising and stuff. They're merchants. So the waves took them and it left them at an island. And there they descended from the island and they wanted to know where they are so they can ask for the way back into the Arabian Peninsula. And this man, by the way, he's a Christian, I believe. He was a Christian. So there they see a creature. It looked like an animal, but it was really hairy. So they say, they're like speaking among themselves. They're like, where should we go? What should we do? Where are we? So this animal spoke to them. It told them, hey, if you want to know everything, there's a man in the cave. Go speak with him. So imagine you're walking and then there's like a dog and you're talking with your friend about something and the dog tells you, hey, by the way, the professor today, he said that and that. Imagine how would you feel about that, okay? Right, so it scared them. So they were like, what is this? And so they said, we were scared, this is like a demon or something. So they fled and they went to the cave where the animal pointed, and there they found the man. And he was chained with chains like this, his arms to the back of his head, like that. All right? And he was sleeping. And then when they approached him, he woke up. And they said that his stare was really, really scary. They got really scared. And then this man asks them, he says, who are you? And they said, we're a bunch of Arabian guys who came from the Arabian Peninsula, and the waves took us here, and we're trying to really go back home. So if you really know where the way back home, please let us get out of this Alibaba thing that we're in, right? It sounds like one of the stories of 1,000 Nights, Alf Layla and Layla, right? So they're like, please take us from this situation. This is really scary for us. This is odd. This is not ordinary. So he says, I have 3 questions for you, and I will let you go. The first question. Lake Tabariya, Lake Galilee, I believe. That's the correct English term for it. Is there water there? So they say, yes, there's a lot of water. People are really happy in the Levant. So he says, oh, it's near drying out. It's going to have a drought. There's going to be very little water left. So there, people are like, what is he talking about? So he says, Nakh Baysan, the palm of Baysan. Is there dates that is coming from the palms? They say there's a lot of dates. So he says it's near that there will be no dates no more. And then he said, the prophet of the Arabs, is he out yet? And they said, yes, he's out, and his people kicked him out of Mecca, and a lot of things are going on, man. So the Antichrist says, okay, and he said, did you guys follow him? And he said, no, we're Christians. Why would we follow him? So the man says, it's better for you to follow him. So they say, why? And he said, I am the Antichrist, and al-Masih al-Dajjal. And it's this near for me to come out. I'm waiting for the time in which I'm coming out. I'm this near, this close to come out. And just letting everybody know, the first sign for the Yawm al-Qiyamah, for the end of the day, for the end of the time, Judgment Day, it is the revelation of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So there's no doubt that we are living in the end times, that we're living during those times. So the Prophet ﷺ said that was the Antichrist. So this hadith answers whether the Antichrist is born, is he alive or not. Yes, the Antichrist exists right now. As I'm speaking to you right now, he's there. So we really need to think about this. He's here among us, but he is chained in an island. We don't know where this island is. Now, there is a script in Nablus. There is a script in Nablus. Do we know the city of Nablus? There is a script there that talks about the background story of the Masih Dajjal. I'm not sure about the accuracy of it, but it is said to be a very ancient manuscript or script, and it is held by a sheikh there in Nablus. So what is the backstory of a Dajjal? Who is this guy? Because every time we talk about the Dajjal, it's always about, this man and what is he gonna do during the end of times, and etc., etc. And by the way, just a side note to how we are close to the Day of Judgment. At Dajjal, when he comes out, he is going to be able to go all around the world except for Mecca and Medina. And some say also Jerusalem, Al-Quds and Jabal al-Tur. He's not going to be allowed to go there. So when he reaches Medina, he's going to stand on Mount Uhud. And then he's going to stare at Masjid al-Nabi. And he's going to say to his followers, do you see that palace over there? And they say, yes. They say this white palace is the palace of the prophets. If you look at the pictures of the Masjid al-Nabawi, the Prophet's Masjid, it is white and it's really huge, as if it was a palace. So Allah knows, but are we close to that day? So we really need to consider. We really need to consider that. So the backstory of this person, they said in this manuscript that there was a city by the name of Samiri in Palestine. And it was ruled by, I believe, a Phoenician king. And there were a bunch of people there who were worshipping demons. As I said, they were worshipping the shaitan. shaitan worshippers. And the king was unjust. So one time, there's a couple, a husband and a wife, and they were like the most extreme shaitan worshippers that you could ever find in this whole city. And when they conceived their child, they conceived it not during the right time. It was during the woman's, period. So they're not allowed. That it's not allowed for that. So the conceivement itself was dirty, and the Iblis himself was present during this. He was blessing this, quote unquote. And then this child was born, and of course, because the conceivement was not in the right time, this child was born with a lot of problems. So he was born with one eye. So this child, he grew up, and at the age of 4, and he still is not talking. He's not speaking. He's not moving. To the point where his parents thought that this guy is dead. That the child is dead. He's not alive. Until they shake him and he wakes up. He moves his eyes and he can hear his breath. They can hear his breath. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala became very angry with the people of Samira, so he wanted to descend the punishment upon them. And they took this child to the king's court. And there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Jibreel in order to finish the city, and he said, but preserve this child, don't kill the child. Bring the child to an island. Where is this island? Some people say it's the island of Socotra. Do we know Socotra? Do we know the island of Socotra? So if we look at the map, do we see this island over here where the laser is pointing at? This is called the island of Socotra, or in Arabic, Jazirat Socotra. All right? It is in modern day Yemen. And really there's a lot of things has been going on, specifically in this island nowadays. But we're not going to get into that. But the point is, some people say he was born to this island. And this island, by the way, has a very unique tree. A very unique looking tree. And this tree only exists in this island. Nowhere else. Just this island. You can't find it anywhere else in the whole entire planet. And there's only one kind of it. And there's only one tree of it. Literally just one tree. Imagine that. So he was brought there, and he was raised by Jibreel. Jibreel took care of him. He would, of course, he would not come to him as an angel, but as human form and all of that. And then the creature, remember that animal? The animal is called a dabba. It's also one of the signs of the end of times. It took care also of this child. So the child grew up, and he was playing around one day, and this creature, dabba, it was teaching him about Islam and all of that, and how he should worship Allah. So he became of age. He hit puberty, basically. And he then, the animal, the creature, came to him and said, go to the cave, and there you're going to find a script. This script is a message from you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he goes to the cave and he reads it, and he said, the script says, be careful and choose wisely, for you could be the person who would save humanity, or the person who is going to be the most despised of humanity. So he turns to the creature and he says, what is this nonsense? So the creature says, this is from Allah. You should not say it's nonsense. He said, who's Allah? So the creature says, Allah, the man who created, Allah, the creator of yourself. So the man, he's getting arrogant. He's getting cocky. He says, who are you talking? Who's Allah? I'm Allah. At this point, the creature screamed and ran away. And it knew he chose the other side. He chose to be the most despised human. And so there was something called the sand of life, apparently according to the script. I personally felt that this is a little extra, but the sand of life, in which if you throw it at something, it doesn't become alive, but it sounds alive. And this person, he started going to the shores of the island until one time he saw a ship and he called them and they took him with them. And then they went to Yemen. And there in Yemen, he learned black magic. And during that time, Musa came, Musa alayhi salam, and he heard about it. And he knew that he is al-Masih al-Dajjal. He knows that now. He 100% knows I'm al-Masih al-Dajjal. He knows that. So he says, okay, I'm going to go to that man named Musa and just see what's going on, what's up with him. So he goes to Musa alayhi salam, and then he tells him, okay, listen, you know I'm al-Masih al-Dajjal. I know I'm al-Masih al-Dajjal. I'm not here to believe in you. I just want to see what's up with you. I just want to follow you and see what's going on. What do you do? And by the way, nobody is able to harm this man, because only Isa alayhi salam is going to be the one who kills him. So he follows Musa alayhi salam until the incident of the calf. And thus, people say this is why he's called a Samiri, because he's from the city of Samiri. Wallahu a'lam. So this is what people say about the story, the backstory of al-Masih al-Dajjal. And it is said that at some point he actually broke free. He was given the order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is a lot of incidents in history in which there were people who were very mysterious and nobody knew their background. And they would come and leave, and then they would come again at another time, at another era. For instance, there is this one incident. There is a man by the name Comte Saint-Germain, and he appeared in, I think, Venice in Italy in the year 1710. And he was around 50 years old. And then just right before the French Revolution, this man disappeared. And they said he died in 1784. But then this man appears again in 1788. And again, this man appears in 1821. There were reports that people met the same person, the same description. And again, somebody reported that he met him in 1970. So Allahu A'lam, people say probably this guy is the Antichrist, because the point I'm trying to make here, remember when I said his fitna is the most scariest fitna, the most serious fitna in history? His fitna is continuous. Now that we have the identity of the Israelites, we have a bunch of Israelites who followed this man. Now we have an organized base for the followers of Iblis and Dajjal. Now the name of the Dajjal rings a bell. Remember when we said that Namrud learned black magic and he let people worship Iblis and etc., all of that? Now this man comes to the surface, the Dajjal, that we are going to witness, that we're actually living. We're actually living this. Many organizations in history, many militias in history were actually part of the agenda of Iblis and the Dajjal. As I said, the Dajjal, he exists right now. People take orders from him. How so? Black magic. It's not something that we really need to dismiss. Black magic. People talk with demons. And this is real, because during the Prophet ﷺ time, there were people like that, and they would know things from demons. Demons would go, and it's mentioned in the Quran, they would go ascend to Sama Dunya, and they start trying to listen to what the angels are talking about, and descend down to earth and tell the person they're working with, from the humans, what's going on, what's up. This is occurring till this time, by the way. Till this time. And now they are in contact with the Dajjal through this. The Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith that Iblis, he always checks on the Dajjal on that island. And then the Dajjal is sleeping. And when Iblis just approaches the island, the Dajjal wakes up. And once he wakes up, once his eyes are open, it is said that the waves of the sea starts going crazy all around the island. This man is not a joke. We really need to be scared of him. How so? The Prophet ﷺ said, we need to read Surah Al-Kahf each Friday. Because Surah Al-Kahf tells you 4 stories. Right? There's a story about wealth, there's a story about knowledge, etc. Each of these stories is a test that a Dajjal is going to try to misguide you with. And if you know Surah Al-Kahf, you will know this guy is trying to misguide you. Eventually, after all, let's go back to the story of Musa and in the lecture here. Musa alayhi salam, he told his people, you need to repent. The way of repentance back then was that they need to die. They need to kill themselves. Some people said they need to commit suicide. Others said that they need to just execute it. But I think the correct one is that they needed to commit suicide. So he said, commit suicide, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered 70 of the best men to ascend with Musa, to take a shower, wear the best of their clothes, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness. So they killed themselves, but then Musa, he said, oh Allah, please bring them back. It's your mercy and all that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had mercy on them. He brought them back alive. Do you see the patience in this? Do you know what they did after that? They told Musa, hey, by the way, we're not believing in you unless you show us Allah. We need to see Allah so we can believe in you. At this instant, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let them die. Send a punishment upon them. And again, Musa asked for forgiveness. And again, Allah gives them forgiveness. Allah forgives them. And inshallah, next time we're going to talk more about this madness, unfortunately, of the people of Israel. And inshallah, next time, today we talked about Samiri and the Dajjal. Next time we're going to talk about Al-Khidr, inshallah, and the story of Al-Khidr. And who is Al-Khidr? Because Al-Khidr is another controversial figure. Some people say he's still alive. So we're going to talk about all of that in details, inshallah, next time, since time is coming for Adhan. I don't think we need to make any other notes, I believe. No. Did we? I think I talked about the genealogy of Musa last time, didn't I? Yes. Okay, so inshallah, it's over here. جزاكم الله خيرا وبارك بكم. Let's do dua. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت إنك تقضي بالحق وإنه لا يقضى عليك وإنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا ومتعنا اللهم بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقوتنا أبدا ما أحييتنا واجعله الوارث منا واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا ولا تسلط علينا من لا يرحمنا يا أرحم الراحمين صلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Is there any questions? Do you have any questions? Yes. Yeah, what's your question? What is that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 12 springs that Musa alayhi salam, he hit his staff at the rock and it became 12 springs. Yeah, some sources claim that actually they still exist till this day in Sinai. So if you go to Egypt and Sinai, you will see oases that are actually the springs of what happened, what occurred. Yeah. Actually, I forgot today to talk about it, but I'll talk about it next time, inshallah. So we're going to talk about Khidr, and inshallah we're going to talk about the staff of Musa, the sphere, the tomb, and the ring of Sulaiman, because those things, they came from heavens. So inshallah we're going to talk about that next time. Another strange things. Inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Let me close it.